Rejection builds power. Rejection makes you powerful, but a lot of people don't realize that. A lot of people dread rejection, they don't want to deal with it. They think that it's something that's going to make them weak, but the thing is, rejection doesn't define you. Rejection is usually something that becomes a stepping stone for you to take that next step, to get to that next level, to get to where you want to be. And it's something that I've faced many times, and it's not like it's something that goes away. It's something that's constantly there. But I'm thankful for it and I'm grateful for it because it's something that I thrive off. I love when people reject me. I love to make people eat their own words. I love proving them wrong. Rejection is something that's propelled me forward because every time I got a no, I made sure that that no turned into a yes. And that's all up to you. But in order to understand that, you have to know that rejection isn't necessarily a negative thing. It's never a negative thing. Let me say that. It's never a negative thing because at the end of the day, the decision's up to you to change things. It's gonna take a mindset switch though for you to know that rejection isn't negative. Because if we think about it, rejection, all it is just, it's showing you that you're not where you're supposed to be. I can use myself as an example. I'm a commercial pilot now, and some years back, I remember I applied to one school that rejected me 3 times. 3 times I got rejected by that school. And come to find out, when I started at the flight school that I went to here, I think 6 months into my first year of flight school, that school actually closed down. Imagine, 6 months into my first year of flight school, the school that rejected me 3 times, they closed down. They don't exist anymore. That's insane. They really propelled me to push on and go chase my dreams. That rejection, it didn't hurt me. It just made me stronger because it just made me prepare even more. And now I'm a whole completely different person than I was back then when I was applying for that school. Rejection is never negative. It's always gonna lead to a positive. But again, it's all up to you. What you do, how you think about things. If you look at life as a lot of closed doors that'll never open, then those doors are never gonna open for you unless you put in that work and get to it. Now, when I say put in the work, I don't mean you need to like hustle and strive and do things and make things so difficult for yourself. But all I'm saying is that if you don't put in that effort internally to see where you're lacking, where you freaking suck, then nothing's gonna change. The thing about rejection is that it all comes down to you not taking things personal. That is such a power move, man. When you don't take things personal and you're so unbothered, nobody can fuck with you. Nobody can tell you what to do. You're him, you're that guy. You don't take things personal. When you don't take things personal, nothing can penetrate you. It takes some work to get to that point, but you have to sometimes take that step outside yourself and look at yourself and see where you're lacking. Because sometimes when people or jobs or whatever, when they reject you, it's because of something that you're doing that ain't right. It's not always necessarily because they don't like you or whatever. Maybe it's just you and there's something that you gotta fix. But don't take rejection personal. There's no need for it. There's no need for you to get all your feelings. It's just feedback. That leads me to my next point. All rejection is just feedback. Feedback for you to get better. How are you gonna get better at something and become a better person or develop a better skill set if you're not getting any feedback from anybody? How can you, it's almost like you walk around in the world and you start to think that you're perfect. You're just put on this planet. You are who you are, or who you were at age 5 is who you are at age 25. Like they're supposed to match. There's a lot of stages and a lot of things that happen in those 20 years where you have to let go of some behaviors and develop new behaviors and new skills and all that stuff. You can't just go through life thinking that the way you are today is the way you should always be. You can't get stuck in that. The guy I am today at 27 is not the guy I was when I was 21. And I know the guy that I'm gonna be at 35 is definitely not gonna be the guy that I am today at 27. There's a lot of different mindsets and thoughts and things and truths and all these type of things that I've been learning over the course of my life that can always change. You wanna be ever evolving. And that's why rejection is good, because it forces you to evolve. It forces you to find out new things, become something or someone else that you need to be. That's all rejection's for. Let's say you get rejected by a woman, for example. She says no to you taking her out or whatever you're trying to do. If you think about it, usually it's because of something you did. Maybe you weren't confident enough. Now, don't get me wrong. Some chicks out here, they're, yeah, delusional and whatnot. My point is, maybe it's something you did. Maybe you weren't straightforward enough. Maybe you weren't confident enough in your approach. All these type of things. And all that rejection is, it's just feedback for you to learn from. That's something that I've done over the past 2-3 years. Whenever I get rejected by women, I go back inside myself. I don't like overanalyze the situation, but I'll be like, damn, like what went wrong here? What did I do wrong that didn't lead to the outcome that I wanted? Right? All I'm trying to say is that you should take that rejection as feedback. Don't take it personal. It's just letting you know that you suck at something. So fix it. It's that simple. A lot of y'all getting y'all feelings and all that stuff with these situations, and it's so unnecessary. You're just using a lot of mental capacity and a lot of emotions for no reason that you could be putting into something else that's a lot more productive, like fixing what you suck at by taking the rejection as feedback. Speaking of emotion, rejection calluses you. It makes you formidable. It makes you, or it turns you into a rock. You turn into a guy that has a lot of emotional intelligence because, again, you don't take things personal, and you realize that rejection is just telling you, you fucking suck at something, so go fucking fix it. It's not that difficult. You literally just don't give a fuck about anything that anyone says to you. If it's a rejection, you just brush it right off. You're done with it. You've dealt with so many different rejections that now it's just like whatever. You know what I mean? And it doesn't have to be a big rejection. It can be daily rejections in daily life. Sometimes I'll walk by people and I'll say hello or nod my head or something, and they just look straight ahead, right past me. That's a rejection, but I just brush it right off. And the next person that comes around and I see them, I say hello again, and I get a positive response. It just takes one yes, you know? It doesn't have to be so deep. You don't have to be so caught up in your feelings when things don't go your way. Now, we're all guilty of it in certain moments. Me too. Even I come off as very stoic and calm. That's who I am. But sometimes I also get in my feelings a little bit, and I'll feel something. But just having that ability to just switch all that off and process the emotion and just be like, all right, I'm feeling a little bit pissed right now. It's all good. Just feel it and let it go over. You don't have to let it ruin your whole day and your whole perception of things and how you talk to yourself and all these things because someone said something to you that was a rejection. It doesn't necessarily have to be that way. That's just gonna make things a lot more difficult for you when you want to come out of that funk that you're in. I remember here a couple weeks ago, I was out with my boy and we were at a bar. We're at a bar and there were a couple females across the way. We seen them. And I told him, I was like, yo, well, we saw them looking at us, and I told him, I was like, let's go over and let's see what happens, you know? We walk over there, confident, smiling. We're looking at them, and there were 2 available chairs, and I just asked, like, are these 2 chairs available? As soon as they said, yo, if you know, one thing real quick, just some quick game. If a chick ever says, or like, and she's like debating, just walk away. You already know it's done. I heard that word, yeah, and then they said no to us, and all I did was just laugh it off and walked off. Like, it was not that deep. Yeah, some people would have got caught up in that situation and got pissed and try to convince them, like, oh, let us sit down, blah, blah, blah. Dog, it's not that deep. They said no, move on, leave them alone. They're not interested. There's so there's so many other women on this planet that want to experience you, or the other way around, want you to experience them. Like, it's not that deep. It's just a rejection. Just take it, move on. Because now in my case, all I did was just build my muscle even more to just approach women because I simply don't give a fuck. I'm not gonna lose anything, you know? And that's what rejection does for you. It really calms you down. The more you get rejected, it just calms you down because you understand that one yes is all it takes. That one yes is all it takes for things to just go right and go your way and go how you want it to go. And again, that one yes also means that you're prepared. You're prepared enough. You've done all the work, and now you're getting your reward. I don't like using that word, so to speak, because it kind of sounds like some slave shit. I don't know. Learn to use rejection to your advantage. Use it to your advantage. There's a lot of guys, you'd be surprised, they don't like rejection. They don't want to be rejected. They're scared to be rejected. And you getting rejected daily, weekly, however much, people telling you no, it puts you at much more of an advantage because you have courage. That's one thing a lot of guys lack. And that's me just speaking personally and just looking around. There's not a lot of guys that are courageous. There's a lot of softies out here. It's crazy, kind of disappointing, but it is what it is. You have to have a lot of courage to do the things that you want to do in life. And the way to get that courage is to take that step and not care about what everyone else thinks if they tell you no or whatever. You have to be so gung-ho on things to make it happen. That requires courage, and courage usually gets built through rejection, because if someone tells you no, you don't care. You just turn right back around, you come at them again, right? Always imagine myself running through brick walls when doing things. That takes a lot of courage, because when you're running through a brick wall, there's a big ass piece of hard rock right in front of you. You're supposed to break through it, right? It can be done, but it requires courage. On the other side of that brick wall, you usually know what's there for you. And usually on that other side, you know what's there and then some. That's why I love running through brick walls, man. Whether it's posting content and things like that. You know, it takes a lot of courage to do it. I'm not gonna lie. Me sitting here in front of the camera isn't easy. It's getting easier and easier day by day, but it's been a skill that I've had to develop and something that I've had to become comfortable with. Back when I was 16, I think I had one of the biggest rejections of my life. And I had a tryout with a professional football team. That rejection actually got to me a lot because it was something that really stopped me from doing a lot of things, and it really made me hold back a lot on my talents and skills and stuff like that. But rejection, when they told me that no, man, I remember I had like two different types of feelings. One was a feeling of, we're gonna prove these guys wrong. And the other part of me was hurt, actually, because it was something that I really wanted at that point in time. In that rejection, when I was getting told no, I remember I was talking to the coach and I was just asking him questions like, yo, like, what is it I can work on? What is it I can do to get better? Blah, blah, blah. Even though I was like really hurt on the inside, I knew way back then, all he has to do is just tell me what I suck at so I can fix it and I can level up my game. This is at age 16. I'm pretty sure like a lot of guys, I'm not sure it's normal for me, but I'm pretty sure a lot of guys at age 16, they wouldn't have been able to do that. They might have been crushed and like gone home and cried and all that type of stuff. I just took the L and I took it for what it was worth. I took the rejection and it showed me a lot of different things, like the things I needed to work on, whether it was technique or like my weak foot or just these small little details that I could have gotten up to par with the guys that were on the team. And that's what rejection is. You have to use it to your advantage, because I remember using the rejection to my advantage, and the coming season, man, I went off. I had a lot of determination and for sure a little bit of anger in me, but I used it to my advantage to perform on the field and to get my technique down, get my weak foot down, get my conditioning right. I just took everything up one notch, or sorry, a few notches actually. Just to recap this video, man, 4 things we've been through about rejection. It's not something you're supposed to dread. It's something you're supposed to accept. Let it come to you. Take on the rejection, because you can only get better from there. Because it's always going to tell you that you're either not ready for something or you're not where you're supposed to be when it comes to something. It's feedback. It's going to callous you and just make you emotionally intelligent. And you have to learn to use it to your advantage. You utilize these 4 things and have these 4 mindset switches, rejection is not going to be a problem for you anymore. It's just going to be something that's a part of life and something that you know is going to happen on your journey. Even me, last example, like this YouTube channel and my social media and stuff, it's gonna blow. I know it, but it's like sometimes I might feel like I'm getting rejected when I get like low views or whatever, but none of that matters at the end of the day, because all of it's just feedback and it's just showing me I'm not ready, I'm not where I'm supposed to be. And it's also just callousing me, because at this point it's like, I know it's gonna blow. It's just gonna be a matter of time. It doesn't matter when. And I'm using it to my advantage to make more content, because it's just lighting more of a fire under my ass to get better, right? So use rejection for what it's worth. Don't be afraid of it. That's it from me in this video, and I'll see you on the next one. For one-on-one consultations, check the link in the bio. Peace.